Hello, everyone. Yesterday was a hard day for me. Whew, I haven't revisited the whole family dynamic in a while, and I cried pretty much all day yesterday and could not sleep and nightmares. So I'm gonna get myself out of East Texas. Um, believe it or not, the story just gets a little wilder. Um, to back it up, this is 2021. Um, my birthday is April 15th, so I just turned 39. My husband wanted me to celebrate my birthday back at home and not there. So I waited, and so I got there like at April 17th or something. And so I left off in the story. Hi, Susan. Hi. I left off in the story where my brother chased me to the truck. I already got rid of the bed. Then I couldn't take the truck, and I didn't have a car because my mom can't drive, and my brother does not. It was not supposed to be there. The truck was supposed to be for me to use while I was there. He chased me, uh, bumped into me to make me, and flung all my suitcase and everything, just flung it out, and then said, "I didn't touch you." Um, to back up a little, when I was sitting with my brother before the big blowout, he laid his hand on my knee and said, "You know I never touched you, right?" And I'm looking at him going, "What are you talking about? You've tortured me. You've done all these things." And he's like, "No, no, no. You attacked me." And I'm sitting there godsmacked going, this guy is crazy. He's not convinced. I'm not that stupid. I know exactly what this guy has done. And so he said that with my arrest, or me pressing charges and getting the 3-year restraining order, I jumped on him. And so he has this whole scenario in his head and made it true to himself. This is why, with L. Ron Hubbard believing his lies, believing his own lies, Mitch Brisker just whatever, no kid, no, there's no kids, and thinking it's appropriate for him while he's in recovery and doing the detox, he can take care of a bunch of little ones that need the most attention. With an addict, like I said, I have several. Well, I know my dad was an addict, but I have several addicts, and they are quite selfish, and they come first. So there's no way in hell that I can listen to somebody like that and go, "Yeah, you're right." They need to be the smartest person in the room, and they are the smartest person in the room, and they will make you feel so stupid that it's not even worth convincing or trying. You can argue to your heart's content and be out of breath because they're king of the world or their world. But I know the record. I know his school record. He was suspended for so many fights. I was not the aggressive one. There's just, who are you fooling? And I'm standing in the middle of the country road where I got bit by this dog, and killer dogs, and my mom's just yelling at him to leave me alone. He's not gonna leave me alone. I ran off because he wanted to find the keys. The keys were in my sweater pocket. I'm running, trying to run. At 7 months post spinal fusion. So they took out everything. I'm wearing a diaper. I'm incontinent at this point. My knees and ankles do not bend. I was going paralyzed with this injury, spinal injury, where my vertebrae was touching my spinal cord and irritating the hell out of it. So I have all this, and my mom's dying, but I have a crazy brother that lives there 30 minutes away but doesn't drive, and he lives there now. So I'm running, trying to, not really far, but I go to Buddy's house, the dog that kept following me home, and I knocked on the door and said my situation. Like I said, my mom always told me, you don't tell people our business. I'm telling everybody. I'm as transparent as you can get because I do not like people's manipulation. Like you said, you've seen, like, hello. I do not like people's motives. And when it's more about them in return, what do they get in return? And it's unbelievable what I've seen people do, my mom and brother, that there's no way I can manipulate someone or tell someone a lie just to make myself look better. And realized after all this, why am I trying to be perfect when it's impossible? This is the other reason why I look at Scientologists going, good luck with those superpowers. Because, woo. And so the lady answers and then goes get her mom. Then the mom comes and says, well, I'm ready. I have to take my daughter to her work. So I can't, and where am I going to go? I don't even know the place. I really have no one, except the lady that was caring for my mom, but they work and they were out of town 3 hours away. I'm by myself. And I called back my husband, and I just asked permission if I can just stay in their yard. There's one tree and all these plants on the ground, and it's Texas, guys. There's red ants and black ants, but they're huge. You don't want to be messing with any of that. It's in the afternoon, and so I don't want to be out there in dark. So I don't know what to do. I'm panicking. Don't know if my brother's going to come and wrestle me for this dang key. I don't know what to do. So then I look up a cab company because my husband said call a cab. And then I'm thinking, where am I going to go? All I want is off this country road, but I don't know where to go. And I don't know what's safe. Okay, maybe a hotel. Okay, what hotel? That's not in the budget for this trip. So I'm like, this is not cool. And I call and just get information, and I tell her my whole story. What I'm doing right now, I'm in someone's random backyard or front yard hiding from my brother. I need to get off this country road, but I don't know where to go. And then so I see the lady come out of the house and get into her car, and she's sitting there for like 10 minutes picking up. And then she tells me she can take me, which this is outskirts of town, so 30 minutes into is anywhere into town, right? She takes me to Sonic with her daughter going to work at Sonic. I'm sitting there with my bag full of sand because my brother throwing everything. I've called this lady who ended up nicknaming me her California girl. And I explained my story again. I have no clue where I'm going. I don't know how to get out of here. My husband's looking up flights. I came in Shreveport, Louisiana, that's 45 minutes away. Houston, like, that's the closest airport. Or is Houston, which is way up north, right? North Texas. And I don't know what to do. And as I'm sitting there, I called 4 times and canceled on her 4 times. I called back and I was like, nope, don't pick me. I don't even know. I'm really scared. I just don't know what to do. And so she's like, okay, if you need anything, just call me back. She must have thought I was really nuts. But I called the 5th time and I said, okay, I really need to go somewhere. My back's killing me, because I told her I had back. I told her everything. I got bit by the dang dog. Like, my mom's dying, just everything, right? Well, she comes in her van, picks me up, and then she says, I talked to my boss and they said this hotel, they know the person at the front desk. They're not going to let anyone mess with you. It's a good area. And so she drops me off. I pay her. And that night I raided the vending machine for dinner. What are you going to do? Because I didn't want to go anywhere. I didn't want to order or, call someone or order something. This is not fun. I don't know what to do. My husband said there's no flights out of Shreveport to Sacramento at all. And it's not a direct flight. It's literally Shreveport to Georgia, then to Arizona, and then back up to Sacramento. I do not understand this flight plan, but here I'm stuck in East Texas. Then the guy, my husband's like, okay, there's one in Houston, and that's like 3-4 hours away, depending on traffic. I don't think this cab is going to take me 3 hours away. But I call, ask for a figure if she could even do it. She called her boss. She calls me back. I'm stuck in freaking East Texas. She says, my boss says yes, and it's going to be $270. The plane ticket is $500 to $600 just for me to get home. So that's the plan. Tomorrow at like 1, we're leaving. We're gonna start doing our road trip with a random lady who has listened to my story, and I've hung up and called her 5 times. I'm like, this poor lady has heard every little bit. And so that night, I also get a call from this nurse coordinator who tells me that there's going to be the meeting tomorrow, and to set up to finalize my mom's end of life, whether or not she wants a DNR, the plan. Here's the rotating nurses and their schedule. Hi, Miss Sunrise Dawn. And I'm like, oh, okay. Well, I'm leaving tomorrow. Has my mom or brother told you anything about what's going on? And she's like, no, not really. Your brother said that he was that you left and will be back soon. He just didn't know when. I'm telling you, this freaking flying monkey circus is on fire. And I'm just looking at it going, this isn't my circus. This is not mine. I do not want to be here. What the hell is going on? I look like a freaking nut. So I tell her the story. Like I said, I'm not keeping any secrets. My family's nuts, and you're about to take care of the grumpiest, bitter old woman and a psycho man-child, 40-year-old man-child that can't get it together. I don't know what to tell you, but I'm leaving. I put my hands, I wash my hands of it. But she's like, I would like you to be there If I'm there, would you be there? And I said, I will never be alone with my brother. So, yes, I will only go in with you. And when you leave, I'm leaving. She's like, okay. So so that's at noon. I'm leaving at 1 to start driving to Houston from, I can't even remember the town my mom lived in, because for 12 years, guys, she would not give me her address. She said, there's no reason why you need my address. And the P.O. box is in LaRue, Texas. That's all I knew was her P.O. box and her phone number. What parent does that? There's no way in hell I will let my daughter go 3 days without talking to me. I want to know you're breathing. I want to know what you're up to. I love you. Nope. So I'm in this hotel. I agree. I got my husband sent me over my plane information, and so the next day, or I set up the cab to pick me up, to drop me off for this meeting. And she said, just call me when you're done and we'll go. Okay. So I arrived at my mom's house down this country road. The nurse arrives pretty much at the same time, parks, and we get out, go in. There's 3 other nurses, so 4 altogether. My brother's standing and my mom's sitting in the recliner. I'm sitting next to the lady that I told I will not be alone with my brother. Even with my mom, I'm not doing it ever again. I'm not safe. So I'm sitting there with them, and I'm hearing my mom and my brother decide that he's living there, taking care of her. She even used the words, she needs him. He lives too far. He lives in town. I live in California. What the hell is she talking about? And so I'm just sitting there going, this is not about you, Sarah. Mom's dying, and a little asshole over there has decided that he's in charge. Let it go. You're not safe. There's nothing you can do. Yeah, your mom's dying. That's the most important. And I did what I needed to do. I set this whole thing up because my brother and my mom decided for themselves that she's not dying. Not yet. She has at least a year. She's great. And it's sitting next to the lady talking about the DNR. Okay, my mom does not want to be resuscitated. All the medications, and when it gets, the pain is going to get bad. And they're trying to explain to her that it's in your stomach and everything, your liver, your kidneys, of course, the lungs, because it's 2 different cancers that are eating her up. It's all in her bones. Her hip has completely been taken out by this, but she thinks she's going to beat the cancer and then get a hip replacement. She doesn't realize that she's not listening, that the hip is gone from cancer. And as for me, I'm like, realist, I'm like, hey, this is happening. But the doctor's actually, that's better because we don't want her depressed. And I'm like, okay, so don't mention she's dying. She's not dying. She's getting the help. She's getting medicine. She has my brother. She wants my brother. And then I guess the look on my face said it all. But I didn't say anything. But they didn't know, the other nurses did not know that I was the one that lived too far away. And I can't stay because I'm not safe because of that. And I don't get to spend the last days with my mom, or at least have some closure, right? The meeting ended, but this nurse said and rubbed the side of my arms and just said, "I've been exactly where you've been," and gave me this big hug. And I just started crying because I was like, "You don't even know the half of it." I don't think that lady just reiterated my whole story to you. That is absolutely insane. Absolutely. Who lives like this? Who goes through stuff like this? This is stuff in movies or a book, like imagination, not real life. Because I have 3 holes in my freaking leg, back surgery, diapers, had a freaking truck here just to get yelled at and chased down a freaking road. I'm like, what the hell did you do with that? So I sat down with my mom after that and I said, "Mom, I'm leaving." Because she never called to ask where I was, if I'm safe, nothing. I told her I stayed in a hotel. I called a cab, and I'm headed to Houston to fly out back to California. And she's like, "What cab company did you call?" I told her. And guys, this is unbelievable. Remember the guy on the bike that said he saw and heard everything and he's going to go get the neighbor because of the dog fight, the killer dogs? The owner lives next door, and that's his brother that had the bike. So I'm sitting here going, "What?" And she's like, rolled her eyes and she's like, "Of course, that would be his company." I don't know what the hell is going on, but thank him, because I was not going to go back to a situation where if I'm not doing what I'm told or give my brother whatever the hell he wants, I'm going to get beat up. And all my mom is going to do is just yell at him for beating me up. What? Where? I can't imagine my daughter being in a situation like that. I would become Wonder Woman, learn how to freaking fly, and go, "You know what? You ain't touching my daughter no more. Get out." But nope, he lives here. I meet him, all this, and we say our goodbyes. I asked for a hug. She gave me a hug. She doesn't like hugs because I knew that was the last time I was going to see my mom the way she was at that very moment, because she was only going to get worse. And catching up, I agree. Yeah. And I told her if I hadn't heard from her, I would be showing up at her doorstep with a sleeping bag and pillow, going, this is not how our relationship goes. You don't get to live your life without me. Without me at least knowing you're okay. But my mom said, "All right, bye." And I left because the lady was leaving. The other nurses were going to stay because they were sorting out the medication with the lady that was helping, because I told her what happened. I was chased down, blah, blah, blah. And she was like, "Yeah, I was 3 hours away." And I was like, "Yeah, I wasn't going to keep bothering you with my family drama. Like, you're doing this out of the kindness of your heart. No one's paying you to help my mom out. And my mom has a disgusting attitude." I would have quit. I don't know. I would have called, I don't know, adult services or something. But I'm standing on the country road again, And I looked to my left, which was that corner house where the guy owns the cab company. I called the cab company and I was like, yep, I'm going to stand on his property. So I'm not standing in front of my mom's house. Oddly. So I waited for the van to come back. And we, first, the boss wanted to meet me. And so came. He wanted to know about the property because I learned that the property that my mom was buying was the 1 acre that his family sold off of the original whole property, because that's his parents' old house. Like, he inherited it and stuff and wanted to buy back the 1 acre. Like I said, motives. Like, holy shit. And I just told him it's going to go back to the bank. My brother has no means. I live out in California. I don't want the house or the property. Because I have a house in California, and that's freaking ridiculous. And I'm not moving to that trailer just to be reminded of how shitty I've been treated and closer to my brother. Oh, hell no. So we got gas, got some snacks, and me and this lady road trip. Her phone number's still in my phone, and it's just unbelievable that I was able to drive all the way to Houston, even though I gave her $300. I gave her a $25 tip. And I was like, sorry, but this is all I have. I had to buy a freaking ticket. That, it's like, here goes $1,000 the last 2 days I was in Texas. It's just unbelievable how, because I was paying for the gas that I used in the truck. I filled that up. I had this, but nope. This is where you wear at the airport, you had to wear a mask. So all people saw were my eyes, and I just was bawling because I knew I was not going to have my mom anymore. Even though she was who she was, you only get that mom that delivered you, So I get a call, and that was in the middle of April. I called her once a week, and I called the nurses once a week, telling them my brother should not be in charge. He's on SSI. He can't even take care of himself. The Texas is taking care of it. So I'm like telling everybody, here's all my business. Here's even my family's business. He has some mental disorder that my mom never told me. He is incapable of taking care of another human being if he cannot take care of himself, especially a dying, everything. And I also said that he is very dominating, and even with any argument from my mom, she turns into a submissive. It's a very sick relationship, or just being there. But yes, I understand my mom wants to be there, but she's sick. And they're like, we understand. We keep talking to him. And I was like, yeah, he's counting her calories. He's like, yes, we've been trying to tell him that it does not matter that she's stagnant, and you need to have lower calories or she'll gain weight. And thankfully, he had training to properly assist her in standing up and going to the bathroom, so he wasn't going to break her bones. But it was one of those things where I kept voicing it. He should not be there. And my mom, I could tell when it started going to her brain, because it was in her skull. They said 5 finger lengths in her skull at the time of the scan. And she started talking about the sheep stealing her pills. And I was trying to tell Mom, are you sure it's the sheep? Like, still really not get any real conversation, but just asking how she's doing, how she's feeling. And I got a call June 3rd that her pain level is too high for her to be out of the nurse's care. She was taking liquid morphine underneath the tongue, and that was not doing a thing. So by ambulance, she goes to the facility with my brother, and they reassured me my brother's with her. And then I get the plane ticket. My husband, who wasn't part of the plan at all to even travel to go see my family, but because I could not be alone, he's like, no, I'm going. And the next day, we took a flight straight to Houston, grabbed a car, rented a car, and drove all the way down to the city she lived in that I can't even remember. And that was closer to the facility she was at than the house. And when we got there at midnight, it's like, okay, here's the plan. In the morning, we'll go and visit her. And at 7 in the morning, we get a call from my brother that her vitals are dropping and get here as soon as possible. When I got to the facility, first thing funny, I walked in where they told me where she was. They told me the wrong turn, like turn left or turn right. Well, they said left. I turned left, and it's this black woman. I was like, I don't have any African American black in me. Nope, that's not my mom. Turned away. That's not my mom. And hey, Ryan, and turned around, and it was on the right, and my mom was comatose. She was non-responsive. I just got bullied. Yeah. No, it's not. Even if it's like a difference in someone's life, it's unbelievable how people are treated when they're different. And differences make us beautiful and unique. So when I saw my mom laying there, and my brother was in the bathroom, he was sleeping there. And I found out when he was sleeping at my mom's house, he was sleeping in her hospital bed instead of her. I'm just floored with the treatment. But my mom's laying there, and then my brother comes out. He sees me and he goes, hey, and he starts to talk, but then he turns and sees my husband. Shut up. He shut up. He was not even gonna challenge another man. That's what an asshole and bullshit. You should not take my gender as any less threatening as a man. Because if my mom could tell me at 15, she feel sorry and sad for the person that attacks me in a dark alley. Oh, hell no. So here I'm like looking at my husband going, what the, try it. I want you to start a fight. Because mom's sleeping. Mom's comatose. Mom's not waking up from this. Let's go. But nope, he didn't want to start a fight. He's telling me that he gave her a haircut while she was comatose. Asked me if it was okay. Well, it's a haircut. Her tongue was so swollen from the cancer. It was now in her throat, in her brain. My brother started talking about how much weight she's gained in the last month. My husband's reading his Kindle, but keeps looking up like, what the fuck is going on? Listen to me. He's a channel. I'm 16, by the way. Oh, you're 16? Yeah. It was just unbelievable how here my mom is passing away. And I heard from my brother's description, because I was an EMT, the what is called the death rattle. It's like gargling. So I knew it was coming, but I didn't tell him because she's going to survive. To him, I go talk to the nurse, and she's been comatose since yesterday, like the morning of, after she was admitted, and took a walk, and with my husband, and I get back, and the nurse asked me, have you had alone time with your mom? I said, no, he won't leave her side. He's taking the chair. My husband's taking the other chair in the corner, and I'm not about to kick my bodyguard out of that chair, even though my husband will be like, do you need to sit down? Because I did have back surgery. But I was like, no, I just don't know what to do with these feelings. And I'm finishing a story, Ryan. Yeah, I'm just finishing a story that's who I am, and why I treat people with respect, and then rather than put them down. My mom was snoring this whole time because of the tongue and everything. She stopped breathing, and I ran out of the room crying, and I got the nurse, and the nurse came and then called the doctor. She took one more breath. I guess I could not be in the room with my mom. I could be with anybody else. My first day in the ER, a body was hanging out in the back, like right behind me for the whole day, waiting on, So I'm like, I'm fine with it, but not my mommy. And my mom decided to drop the body. Sorry, I need to laugh. But my brother, of course, had to say something stupid. I handled her death better than you did. My husband was a saint. He didn't say a damn word. He just kept worrying about me and how I'm handling this. And so we're like, okay, she's gonna go. She was pronounced at 2:50 something in the afternoon. And I did get my time. I held her hand, say, Mom, I'm here. Took a picture of her hand and my hand, because that would have not happened in real life. But we gained an extra person with our rental car because my brother doesn't drive. So here my husband's driving. I'm in the front seat. And guess who's in the back? A person I do not want to be near or alone with. I still have him. We drive to my mom's house. My brother starts calling everybody. Yeah, mom died. Just nonchalant. I'm crying, and I told my husband, I do not want to come back here. Whatever we need to do here, we are not coming back. And I went through my mom's photos and anything. Asked my brother. He didn't want anything unless if you find something of value, then we'll split it. Gosh. So my mom, I didn't know what was going to happen. I left it to my brother. I'm not in control. I have my own life. I have my own family. I'm in a completely different state. I'm not staying in here. And so we left after 5 hours. My back was killing me. Then we went in the morning time, my husband, because my mom liked flowers, and I love flowers and gardening, took me to the National Rose Garden, or some sort of giant rose garden. And there, everything happens on my right side, by the way. I stepped forward. I'm crying. I didn't sleep well. My brother, or I don't know about my brother, but he stayed at the house for a few more days doing whatever. I don't know. And my husband didn't sleep. And so when we went, I stepped forward on what I thought was dirt. It was an anthill. And these ants came out, and I didn't even feel them. Covered each other and my whole top of my foot and ankle. The same damn foot that I got bit by the dog and bit all at once. I started screaming, hopping, doing whatever. And my husband's like, what is your problem? And it looked like spurs on my leg. And I'm wiping it off. He starts wiping it off, realizing they're ants. So we're like, we're not stepping on the I needed ice and then a histamine. Took pictures of that too, other than the flowers. But nothing in my life comes easy. Nothing in my life has come just one swell swoop and, oh, okay, I'm going to deal with that and move on. Everything just collides and it's like on top of each other. And that's why I laugh about a lot of things. Just because there's nothing you can do about it. There was no reason for me to think that ant hill all around this rose and like the other, it did not look different. There was no difference in the soil. And I just think kindness goes a long way and is free. And yes, everybody's different with their protesting. I didn't get to the part where I got her ashes in the mail. Hold on. It just keeps getting worse, guys. Okay. So my brother didn't want her ashes. Didn't want anything. I could not personally leave my mom at a funeral and not pick her up. So they first mailed me her death certificate. He didn't want that either. Then I get a knock on the door, open the door, and on the box is red tape saying human remains. And I had a sign for her. And he hands me the box. And I'm holding her. And I walk over to the kitchen going, okay, put the box down, went to my room and called my husband saying, Mom's on the kitchen table. I'm not leaving this room because I don't know what to do. He hit her, and then on her birthday on March 19th, 2022, was when I scattered her ash. Well, scattered. No one tells you, it just plops, and it's not good. We drove to Napa because that's where she mainly did school, raised, and I was raised. What's so funny is that my mom always told us she was born in Vallejo, California, which is in Northern California. She was born in LA. So here we're trying to fill out the death certificate before I even got it and everything. And I had to get reissued because I found her among all her papers that I just took. I found her social security card or her little birth, and it said Los Angeles. So for you not even to know where the hell you've been born, and we didn't know. My brother thought it was Napa. I was like, no, she's been telling me she was born at the same hospital I had my daughter. So it is what it is. Mom's on the kitchen table. He hides her, and then he puts her in the car when we go find a place. And found a resting place, and said my goodbye. My daughter was like, wish you were a better grandma, because I can't even call you grandma. Which is true. She said her truth. Only met her 4 times out of her whole life, and didn't even acknowledge her for the first 24 hours when I came, going, Mom, what are you doing? You know. So I come to this movement with more compassion. These people have made a choice in their life and then have children and they don't have a choice. And then you have this cycle of abuse or this mind control. You have to do kind of what we say. You cannot talk about Scientology or bad about Scientology if you leave, or there's disconnection. So with everything related to Scientology, and then there's my path, I can find somewhere an understanding of just human compassion. And I don't want to yell at these people. I'd rather have a human connection and conversation with these people. So even though they see me as a threat, because I'm saying, hi, have a good time at on session. I don't know. But I'm tracking third generations now that are kids that are going up the bridge and following when they go on the Puritan and stuff, because you should not be practicing medicine without a license. And just making it aware of out in the community, this is exactly what's going on in your backyard. And I just gonna stay in my lane and do what I can for this movement, but I think this cancellation of people, everybody exists. I exist, and I even told the police this when I got my notice of trespass. Waving. I exist out here and I can exist. They get to exist in there because they exist. But why are they trying to cancel my existence? Why are they telling me I cannot exist out here? Because it is legal in terms of whatever IRS agreement that they had, which is illegal, I think. That's my opinion. And I just feel that they're allowed to continue to do what they want to do, even with the curtains down. I want so much transparency and honest conversations instead of making them go hide and reaffirming to the OGs of Scientology that are still in there and the younger crowd, the high schoolers, that they're right. We are judging them. We are against them. And it's not, I'm not trying to cancel them as humans. We can agree to disagree, but I do want a conversation. And I know Sacramento Org is watching me. I just found out another connection. Someone that works for Braille has a connection with the Sacramento Org, but he's not staff. That's why I couldn't find him. But I found you today. I'm still going to be doing my deep dives. I have Uganda and Liberia to cover. I got more stats, 2 weeks worth of stats. So I just ask everyone to put yourself in someone else's shoes and don't assume that their behavior is because they're jerks or because they need to be canceled because they said this or think this, and everyone should jump on this idea. Let's mob them and just put them down. Kindness goes so far, guys. And you can agree to disagree and even tell them, I don't think that's an appropriate thing to say. But if they stand by it, you don't have to follow. You don't have to have them in your life because people are still individuals and get that right to have an opinion, to think what they want, as long as they're not harming people, like murder or physically putting your hands on someone. Words do matter, but that's the opinion as long as there's no threats. So I stand by all human rights, and will continue to educate people with my channel. So, is there any questions? I don't even know if people are still hanging out. I'm sorry with this sad story, but my husband and I left that night after I got bit by all those ants. We're like, we don't need to stay here 2 more days. We're going to go back home and finish this chapter. And I don't need to be abused by my mom or brother anymore. Only in my head and memories, right? Thanks, Miss Sunrise Dawn. I'm sorry, guys. I am an open book. But me crying about something makes me feel even stupider. Yep. No, that's fine. I'm going to end this. I am thankful for you guys And have a great week, and I hope to do these videos that got a little more tech savvy, hopefully, for you guys to share. Have a great week, guys. See you later.